Right, good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the Friday assembly. As you can see in the background, we've got that shot of all those lovely art paintings on the wall. Um, and a big thank you must be said to Mrs. Van Zyl and the teachers and students who helped paint. And here we've got them in action, and that was on Saturday on Elephant Way Road. Right, so during the past week or so, I've managed to get in and have a look at some of the lessons that have been going on in the juniors, and there have been some really lovely stuff going on in the classrooms. So let's have a look at a few of those examples. Right, the standard fours have been learning about living and non-living elements that make up ecosystems. And here we've got an example. Mrs. Laverick kindly brought this huge snail into school, and they actually kept it in its own little habitat. Mrs. Ali kindly brought in a goat for the children to have a look at. And here's a shot of her explaining to the children where the goat lives, what it eats, and all about how a goat grows up. Here we see some lovely examples of the dioramas that the children brought to school. And this shows all the different biomes. And here we can see a desert biome, a lovely example of the vegetation you find in the desert area, the different types of animals and reptiles. Here we've got more savanna African animals, I'm sure you recognize. And there's a nice example of a rainforest biome. Here we can see the waterfall, all the different animals and vegetation. And here we've got the icy tundra, so that's near your Arctic Circle. And there's an example of the different animals that you get. Some really lovely models. Right, and then in Standard 5, the students have been busy learning about energy. They've been making up electric circuits, as you can see here, and not only just building up the circuits and getting them to work, but also doing diagrams, circuit diagrams of the different circuits that they've made up. And here's some more of the children. Here we go. Right, another thing they did was they brought cow dung to school. Can you believe it? And they burnt it. And this was really just to show us that you can use other means to make fires, so thereby saving using fuels. Well done. I can see they all got their masks tightly covering their noses. Right, Standard 6s, we're looking at volcanoes. And here you can see this lovely diagram showing the different surfaces of the earth and then how the magma is forced up into lava, and they're nicely labeled. And during maths, they've been learning about symmetry. Here you can see some lovely examples of the lines of symmetry and such interesting patterns. Must have taken quite a bit of time to do all this lovely work. Right, and in Standard 7, the children have been learning about magnetism. And here you can see a nice example of what happens if you place iron filings on top of a piece of paper and you put a strong magnet underneath, and you can see all the different magnetic lines that the iron filings are forced into by the magnetic field. Really amazing. And then outside the Standard 7 classroom, I've seen this bicycle, or newly painted bicycle I should say, and I'm not quite sure what it's doing there, and I'm hoping that some of the Standard 7s will come along and just let me know what that's all about. So as you can see, a lot of exciting things happening in the classrooms, and a big thank you and well done to all the teachers and students for your participation. And I almost forgot to mention something, and that's a very big well done to all of you for all the books you've been reading on Epic. It's really good to see.
boys and girls. Sometimes it can be really confusing to know who you can go to for help when you need advice or when you know something has happened that is wrong. So it's really important for you to know who the safe adults are in your life, both at school and at home. The adults at Northside work very hard to make sure that you can be safe at school. So if you need to speak to an adult, you know you can speak to any one of your teachers. We also have a safeguarding team at Northside. That is a group of adults you can speak to in private at school, and they are going to introduce themselves to you now. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Dunlop-Jones, and I am the coordinator of the safeguarding team. My office is in the Student Support Services Centre.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to take my mask off as I'm practicing social distancing so you can see my face. Right, my name is Mrs. Richards. I think most of you know that. And I am part of the safeguarding team at Northside Primary School. And our role is to protect you, look after you, and be there should you ever need our help. I think you all know where I live when I'm at school. I'm in the office. So you must always know that should you ever need to come and speak to me about anything or need my help, you can always come and knock on Mrs. Richards' door and I'll be there for you. Thanks very much.
I'm Nurse Joyce. I'm part of the safeguarding team. You can find me in the sick bay. This is where I'm located.
Everyone, my name is Mr. Benza, and I'm a member of the safeguarding team at Northside. So if you have any questions, if you need to speak to me with regards to anything within the school or even outside the school, feel free to do so at any time. You can find me in the gym, on the field, or in the PE office. Thank you.
Good morning, boys and girls. My name's Miss Khan, and I'm part of the safeguarding team. And if there's anything you ever want to talk about, chat about, anything that worries you, you can find me in the Student Support Services in my office.
Hi, I'm Miss Ivans. I'm part of the safeguarding team. I'm available when you need to chat. If you need to chat, you can always find me in the library. I'm here from 7:15 in the morning to 1 o'clock during break, anytime. Take care, be safe.
Good morning, children. I'm Mr. Mitchell, as you know, and I'm part of the safeguarding team. And should any of you ever need to come and chat to me about anything, I'm always available. Generally, you can find me in my office. Otherwise, I'm wandering around the school. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Mrs. Frolick and I am part of Northside Safeguarding Team. If you ever have a problem that you would like to come and talk to me about, please feel free to do so. My office, in case you don't know, is by the big blue circle in the reception area. Thank you.
Right, some of you may be aware that the school is about to be evaluated by the CIS. So who is the CIS? Right, the CIS is the Council of International Schools, and some of you may have noticed all these different logos on the bottom of a lot of our documents, in fact your reports, and I'll quickly run through what they are. The one on the right, this is the CHOPS, so that's the Conference of Heads of Private Schools, so that's your schools in Botswana, all the heads get together. ISASA is the Independent Schools Association of Southern Africa. They're the guys who did our EQUA audit last year, some of you may remember. And then on the very left is RB, and that's your PYP, that's to do with all your curriculum stuff. And then in the middle are the two CIS logos. So here you can see we are an accredited school. So 5 years ago we did an evaluation, and that's why we managed to have this stamp on all our documents, and there of course is the other one. Right, so what does the accreditation mean? Right, what happens is we have a number of evaluators who are all over the world, and they look at different aspects of the school. And these are them listed here. So first of all, the purpose and direction. So that's really where the school is aiming to go in the future. The governance, ownership, and leadership. That's your management, your leadership team, and your council. The curriculum. That's the work that you do in class, the subject matter. Teaching, assessing. That's really what happens in the classroom with you guys. The well-being. So that's your emotional and physical well-being. Staffing, obviously, is the teachers, support staff, premises, facilities. That's all your buildings, your classrooms, technology systems, the IT equipment, your internet, computers, and your auxiliary services, which is your cleaning and the maintenance of the campus. And lastly, the community, which really looks at the alumni and then your parents and family members. So, next week, we'll be live streaming our school to these evaluators all over the world, and we'll be taking videos of you in the classroom, of some of your lessons. We'll be interviewing some of the students, interviewing teachers, and some of the council members. So I'm hoping you're all going to be in the best behavior. Right, on a lighter note, during the holidays, I became a risk taker. Actually, the truth be said, Mrs. Mitchell made me become a risk taker, and this is why. So, there I am with the white shirt, strapped in. There's the pilot, and here's the paraglider parachute. And let's have a look at what happened.
Go, Daddy.
Right, so there I go. I have to run to take off to make sure we get going. Lift off.
There he goes.
Right, as you can see, I'm really high up in the sky. If you look in the background, I'll just wait till I turn.
He looks a bit close.
Okay, so if you look in the background, some of you will recognize that island, which is Robben Island. Some of you may have actually been there. There's a couple of ships in the sea. But just to give you an idea of how high I was, if you have a look how small those buildings are down at the bottom. And what I did was I flew, well, I didn't fly. The guy did the flying up and down the coast. So I probably did that 4 or 5 times doing long turns and eventually landed down on a park. If you can see the green grass, I landed on one of those parks. See, here's a nice shot from the GoPro of me up in the air. And there you can see, look how small that swimming pool is there. And all the buildings. There's the Atlantic Ocean. That's Lion's Head. And over here, Table Mountain. And the cable car starts right on the edge there. Right, and then an interesting fact about this flight of mine was this guy here in the red shirt was actually at school with me. So that was quite comforting to know. Right, that's the end of our assembly. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend.